Mind-controlled ghost children, a sinister plot, and themes of honesty and trust. There's a lot to unpack as the credits roll on Five Nights at Freddy's. Warning, spoilers ahead. While Five Nights at Freddy's borrows much of the plot of the original game, there are new elements in the film that make the lore of Mike Schmidt even more interesting. The Josh Hutcherson version of the character is still reeling from the kidnapping of his little brother Garrett. Garrett was taken when they were both children while Mike was supposed to be watching him. Since that fateful night, Mike has become the caregiver for his little sister Abby, but he remains obsessed with the disappearance of his brother. Things get worse when he begins to remember details of the kidnapping in his dreams. His desire to take care of his sister and dream about his brother in the hopes of uncovering more memories makes him reluctant to work the night shift, but he takes the job anyway. Though he is supposed to be up all night working, Mike still falls asleep on the job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Most crucially, it leaves him vulnerable to the rampaging animatronics, but there are other consequences as well. As he sleeps, he begins to see other children in his dreams. The children are spirits that inhabit the animatronics at Freddy's, and somehow they know the secret of Garrett's kidnapping. They also want to be friends with Abby, who accompanies Mike to work when her babysitter Max mysteriously disappears. But the audience knows the truth. She was killed while breaking into Freddy's. And then there's Vanessa, the key to all of the mysteries at Freddy's. She looks like a cop, but as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Mike and Abby are in grave danger, and Vanessa has known the truth the whole time. Mike's guilt about losing his brother has plagued him for over a decade, and his unresolved trauma has bled into every aspect of his life. He has trouble holding down a job, and he is completely consumed with solving Garrett's case. So when the children in his dreams offer to trade Abby for Garrett, Mike agrees without thinking about the consequences of that decision. With the agreement made, Abby becomes the ghost's target. They want to trap her body and soul inside the circus baby animatronic. As a part of this plan, Golden Freddy arrives at Mike's home, kills Aunt Jane, and hires a taxi to take Abby back to the pizzeria. Abby is oblivious to the danger she's in throughout the encounter. Mike realizes almost too late what he has agreed to and does everything in his power to save Abby from a horrible fate. He even enlists Vanessa to help rescue his sister. Vanessa eventually reveals that the animatronics contain the bodies and souls of children captured and killed by William Afton, the same man who took Mike's brother, Garrett.
There are ghost children possessing giant robots? Thanks for the heads up.
Currently, Afton poses as a career counselor and calls himself Steve Raglan. He's the one who offers Mike the security position after realizing that Mike is Garrett's older brother. Vanessa knows about the deranged motivations of Afton because she is his daughter. For years, she's tried and failed to stop her father, but the thought of Abby becoming another victim is too much to bear. She joins Mike in his attempt to save his sister, and that makes Vanessa an enemy of Freddy and his allies. The animatronics pursue the protagonists relentlessly. They are under the complete control of Afton, who inhabits the Spring Bonnie suit. But it's Abby who realizes how to remind the children trapped inside the animatronics who the real enemy is. She draws a picture of all of the animals with a giant yellow bunny, but the drawing depicts the bunny as the person responsible for killing them and trapping their souls. This finally frees them of Afton's control, and they redirect their anger toward him. Their attack leads to a spring lock failure in Afton's suit, which causes him to be impaled with metal shards and effectively traps him in Spring Bonnie. With Afton defeated, Mike, Abby, and Vanessa flee the pizzeria as it collapses around them. At the heart of Five Nights at Freddy's is the idea that secrets bring pain, and honesty is the only way to survive the horrors of Freddy's domain. Abby's babysitter, Max, is actually out to discredit Mike so that Abby's Aunt Jane can claim custody of her. Their plot leads to both of their deaths. Mike has kept what happened to Garrett from Abby, and that secret causes pain for both of them and puts their lives in danger. Vanessa lies about her true identity, which causes the death of countless security guards over the years. Like so many horror films before it, there is an underlying metaphor in Five Nights at Freddy's, one of honesty triumphing over secrecy. Given creator Scott Cawthon's Christian background and his start as a faith-based game developer, the theme makes perfect sense. After surviving the terror at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, Mike and Abby are ready to start their lives again. Abby starts fitting in at school, Mike can finally hold down a job, and it seems like they are both coming to terms with their life traumas. And with Aunt Jane's death, they are no longer plagued by her attempts to take Abby away from Mike. They've also made a bond of sorts with the souls trapped in the animatronics at the pizzeria. Abby admits that she'd like to see her new friends again someday, and though Mike doesn't approve, he also doesn't completely write it off. What neither of the siblings knows, though, is that William Afton survived the Springlock failure, but it has left him trapped in the suit. He is now one with Spring Bonnie. Fans of the game will know that this results in him becoming the villain known as Springtrap, and is likely foreshadowing him as the main villain for future sequels. With Abby's desire to be with her friends again, and Vanessa recovering in the hospital, could this be hinting that Mike, Abby, and Vanessa could team up again?
All you have to do is keep your eyes on the monitor.
Months before Five Nights at Freddy's debuted, star Matthew Lillard told Weekly MTG that he signed a 3-picture deal in the FNAF universe. The details of this deal have not been made public, and additional sequels will likely depend on whether or not this first film performs well at the box office. As for where the franchise could be heading, both Circus Baby and Balloon Boy were teased throughout the film, so a visit to Circus Baby's Pizza World is a logical next step. However, with Lillard's 3-picture deal, it would not be surprising if the game Five Nights at Freddy's 3 becomes the core plot inspiration for a sequel. This is especially true given that Springtrap was effectively revealed during the mid-credits scene at the end of the movie.